Hi, I'm Karen.
I'm Robin.
And today we're going to talk about what to do with your film after the film race. One of my favorite parts of doing these film races is that at the end of the weekend you have a movie. And I say this all the time because it's true and it's something to be proud of. You accomplished this thing. But then what do you do with it after that?
One of the first things that we always end up doing is putting together either a trailer or some behind the scenes featurettes, like little videos, to one, help promote the screening or the awards ceremony, mostly the 72 Film Fest, but this applies to the 48-hour film project as well. And that helps to get people to come just to share the film with them and to just get more eyes on it, but also it helps for things like audience favorite, and then you get more votes if you get friends and family to come.
I love when we post our trailer and we get really positive comments on it. So, and especially on this last one, we got some really nice comments of like, wait, how did you do this in a weekend? And that's always a nice little morale boost.
But if there isn't an in-person event, it's still worth making a trailer or making like behind the scenes videos if you have them, and we make a variety of different kinds. I'll do like a video diary if like Karen usually is awesome at like getting like vlog style, you know, when we're in the moment, like we're here, we're doing this.
Do it for you, Robin.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate it. And then also doing like a more thorough like making of, and that doesn't always happen. We don't always get enough to do, you know, even necessarily all that much of one, let alone both, but when we do, it's always good.
And we've been more intentional about actually doing that in recent years.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to have something to turn around quickly so that you can say, this is what we did. And then obviously that does lead to eventually sharing your film online.
Put your film on YouTube, put it on Vimeo. If you're relatively happy with your film, I would say it's definitely worth looking into some festivals that might be catered just towards the type of film that you've made. There are thousands of film festivals all over the world that are always looking for good short films to put into their fests. I wouldn't go trying to submit your film to like Cannes and Tribeca and Sundance, because like realistically they're probably just not going to accept it. But there are thousands of other festivals out there that are going to be catered more to a specific genre or a specific theme, or are just for shorts. Do some research and find some festivals that might work well for the type of film that you created.
And particularly if you can find some that are local, then, you know, we loved going to the Westchester Film Festival because it was close enough that we could actually go and be there in person for the events and for the screenings, and then for the awards as well. And that's the fun part of film festivals too, is like being able to go and actually like network and meet other filmmakers and then talk about the film.
So if you find a local film festival, they might be more likely to accept you because they might have a local filmmakers showcase that they would love to accept you into. And then if you get into a festival, blast it on social media. Take videos and photos of the events that you go to and share that. I mean, it's all about content, creating content.
Conventions now have film festivals, and they can be pretty broad in terms of their categories and their genres. So that's sort of an unusual route to take, but conventions are also, I mean, I go to cons, so I like it a lot and it's a lot of fun.
It's a good way to get your film in front of audiences that might not otherwise have seen your film, might not go to film festivals, but it kind of sucks to say, but they might even just be looking to like sit down for a few minutes and just relax, and then they get to see your lovely film while they're doing that.
It's had some of the most engaged like audiences, like, because usually at conventions, if the filmmakers are there, they have a panel, you know, and that's not something that you're necessarily guaranteed to get at other film festivals.
I've so rarely been on a panel at a film festival, but I've been on a panel at a convention multiple times after our screening.
And the questions were good, and they asked questions. There were a lot of questions, and there's just a really good natured energy in the room.
Another possibility is maybe in your area you have local screenings at coffee shops. I know here in Frederick we used to have a coffee shop that would have an open mic night for filmmakers, and so you might have something like that in your area where you could, you know, show your film off to a few more people.
Taking your film and doing a director's cut and seeing if there's any way that you can make it better. If you're generally happy with it, then, you know, maybe there's no need to do a director's cut, but if there are things that like, I just want to get in there and change that one thing and make it better, or you just see the potential in it to just make it that much better, and you have a team and a crew that are willing to come back and do more on it, go for it, you know, take what you learned and, you know, make it the best that it can be. Again, if you have the time and the resources to do so. And then submit it to festivals.
Yeah, submit the better version.
Absolutely.
A lot of times what needs to happen in a director's cut is that you just need to like sweeten the audio more, or make your effects a little bit better, or add some different music, or just tighten up the edit some. Maybe you weren't super happy with your film, but it has inspired you to maybe remake it entirely, and you actually take the time to like redo it, or to make a longer version of it, and then you submit that to festivals and put that online. And then you have 2 versions of this film, and you can even show like where you started and where you landed. And sometimes that can be a really like fun thing to do with it.
In addition to just like looking into other film races themselves, maybe the 48-hour film project isn't for you. It's not enough time, so you want to look into longer races. You know, we like the 72 Fest, but you know, you guys have also done the 29 days later. That's 29 days as opposed to 1 weekend, and that might be more your speed, or at least something that you want to try out.
And ultimately, if you do nothing else with your film, that's still an amazing accomplishment that you created this piece of work in a weekend. And I would encourage you to try again next year, do it again next year, and you'll only get better and better each time you do it. Thanks for watching. Please do consider liking and subscribing, and join us next time on the Film Race series. Bye.